What's good, guys? Back again with another video. Basically, today we're going to do the valve cover job and the BMW. So, with that being said, I gotta take off everything around that's on top of the motor and the strut area, the strut bar, all that stuff gotta come off. So, let me show you guys what I gotta do. Basically, if you look here, I got everything pressure washed, and that way when I take apart the engine, nothing falls inside the motor. So once we get all these stuff off and we start getting, you know, about to get the cover off, I gotta clean it off quick, get the new gasket on and stuff, because if you look all over, you got leaves. I don't want no leaves, nothing falling there. You already got one right here, but I'm gonna make sure nothing falling there, so I'm gonna get that done, and then we'll move on to fixing other things. This coolant hose here, fixing all the little stuff. So let's go ahead. All right, let's go ahead and start disassembling everything. So let's go. All right, we got this off. So let's go ahead and start taking this off. Now we got those 4 bolts off. Now you got to take these 10mm off. There's like 3 here and 3 on that side. Alright, now we got all that off. Now we got more room to deal with the valve cover. So I'm gonna blow it off one more time, get all the leaves out, and then I have to get the battery disconnected, and then we should go from there. So alright guys, I went ahead and got the battery disconnected. So now we can go ahead and start taking out the coils, unplugging all kind of stuff, and then it should be good. Alright, we got the injector disconnected. You just take a flathead, pry it, and then pull it out. So now we gotta get these off. It's like 2, and then this whole harness can probably lift over. Alright, we got the whole harness out the way, tucked under there. So now we can go ahead and disconnect this plug and take out the fuel lines, and try to keep this out the way. So disconnect those stuff, then you gotta take these 2 sensors out And then after all that is off, then I can just take out the cover after I take off all the bolts. So right here 14, and then I think this is 17. 17, 17. So let's go ahead and take that off. Make sure you put a rag over the line so the fuel don't spray in your face. All right, let's go ahead and loosen it up. See, you hear it? I guess that's the pressure in there. All right, we got the fuel lines out the way. So now we just gotta take off this and plug out this sensor back here. So I'll probably plug it out when I get it out. So. All right, guys, now we're gonna get this off. This is an E8.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So we got that off. So now you gotta get this off and then get this off and then this. Now we can start taking off the valve cover bolts, and then we'll be good to go. Alright guys, I looked it up and it say if it don't come off, you gotta remove the vacuum pump. Alright guys, this one I had to take off in the back. Three of these bolts, and the spacing is tight, so imagine trying to cramp your hands back there to get this off. So now the valve cover should come off. Alright guys, if you need your valve cover gasket set for your BMW 320i, that's the part number right there. So that comes with everything. So. Alright guys, we got on the new gaskets. See, brand new here, brand new, brand new. So just gotta make sure everything is good and should be good. I'm gonna wipe it down one last time. Make sure no grease is on the seal. Then I just gotta wipe down the head top surface, and then we should be able to put it back on. Alright guys, now that we got all the surfaces clean, the only thing I probably gotta clean is just around this little plastic thing. But me, what I'm gonna do, since the engine is slanted, I'm gonna put some sealant in the bottom. So from here, go down around, kind of help, prevent any leaks. I mean, just a gasket alone would be good, but you never know. So depends, not sure where he got the part from. Some gaskets are cheap, some are good, so we'll just pour the silicone for extra security, and then yeah, should be good to go. All right, guys, as you can see, I run a thin bead of silicone around the whole thing, so that would make sure it doesn't leak again. So I just did the bottom because that's the main parts that leak in these cars. The tops normally don't leak, but yeah, now I can go ahead and slap on the valve cover, and then we should be good. All right, guys, now that we got that on, we just gotta find the torque specs, and then we can torque all the bolts. So let's go ahead. All right, guys, these bolts on the cover is 7 foot-pounds, and I got the smallest one that I use here is inch pounds, so I converted to inch pounds, which would be 84 inch pounds. So let's go ahead. Then you're doing a crisscross pattern from the middle. All right, that one's good. Now we can put on this gasket right here. All right, now we can put this on. All right, in between the cylinders have like liquid and oil, so I'm gonna take a rag, stick it in so it can suck it up. See here, just take it like this. We got in there clean as best as we can. We got the water out, so I just gotta wipe the top where the spark plug goes, and that's it. All right, let's go ahead and put this on. First, I'll put on the pump first. Okay, I put on all this stuff, then I can't get the what do you call it, the railing and stuff on, because I can't get the pump on because all this stuff will be on. So yeah, I gotta put that on first, and then we should be good. All right, guys, this is the pump here that I gotta put on in the back. So if I don't put this on, then it'll be hard to get on if I put on everything else on top. So let's go ahead. All right, I had to do it off camera. Kind of hard to get on, but I got it on. All right, guys, we got the pump on. Now we can continue putting this on. All right, guys, we got the fuel rail on, all that stuff. Car gasket done, everything tightened up, all the bolts that I didn't tighten up. Got the vacuum pump in the back on. So there's other stuff that the car need, which is the turbo inlet gasket. If you look here, it's supposed to have a gasket right here, which it ain't had none. So basically, the turbo is sucking air, and we also need the PCV vent hose because someone taped this up. See, it's not supposed to be like that. So he's gonna order all of that brand new. This car got a lot of plastic parts, so this will be a ongoing, job until everything is looking right. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.